We're live. There we go.
Wait,
Oh
right
yeah.
now?
Yes, right now. But when will then be now?
Someone say
Soon.
we're out of practice without
Soon.
saying we're out of practice.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Curbside Network Presents Lord of the Rings Prince of Shadows. We greatly apologize for the hiatus that we took. Some of us were out of town one weekend, a few more of us were out of town the following weekend. But we are so glad to be back. We are so glad to be here together again on the road to Hobbiton. But thank you everyone for joining us. We're live on Twitch. We're live on YouTube. We're live on Facebook. We're live on Instagram because I finally fixed it. Thank you. We're also live on TikTok. So we're everywhere right now. So as always, like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram. Tap all the subscribe buttons, hit all the little bells so you never miss our uploads. Big shout out to Ranger Stop and Pop in Atlanta. We had an excellent time there last weekend. We did 24 interviews with 25 guests. 21 of them were Power Rangers in a span of about 3 days. So all of those interviews are available on our Instagram. They're coming to YouTube. They're also coming to TikTok. So keep an eye out for that. But everyone who's watching here on Twitch, thank you so much for joining us again. We've missed playing for you guys. We've missed getting together as a group. So we're really excited to be back at it tonight. Quick, of course, shout out to our sponsors, Collected Comics and Games in the DFW area. They are absolutely loaded with everything your gaming and nerd heart needs. They've got books, they've got Funkos, they've got minis, they've got paint, they've got dice, they've got everything that you need. So go check them out. Collected Comics and Games. We greatly appreciate them. We love them so much. Go give them your business. You won't be disappointed. And of course, because we're here back together again, gaming, rolling dice, and looking at character sheets, what better than to get some new dice? You know, 'tis the season. It's always the season for new dice. So we highly suggest you go to our partners, ST-Way Gaming. They have an assortment, an entire collection of dice accessories.
A trove?
A trove, if you will. A
A
hoard,
hoard?
if you will. They have anything that you guys need, dice-wise, accessory-wise. They're wonderful. Go check them out. Jason, the owner, has worked very hard and very tirelessly to bring you guys some of the best dice out there. So go check them out. That's ST-Way Gaming. They have a website, Facebook page, Instagram. Go give them your business. We can't do this without them, our official dice sponsors. And of course, shout out to our friends, Peach City Inc., and all of their wonderful custom-made designs. They were with us at Ranger Stop all weekend, but they create 100% custom-made t-shirts with 100% original designs. You can't get them anywhere else. All of their shirts are pre-shrunk and pre-washed, so all you got to do is order it, pick it up, and boom, you're ready to go. They've got new one-piece designs. They're working on Forever Red designs for you Power Ranger fans out there. So if you want to see some new curbside designs, maybe a Lord of the Rings design, let us know. We'll work with Peach City to bring you what you guys want. But with all of that, Tim, the floor is yours, my friend.
Oh my. Well, welcome back to the game. Welcome back to Middle Earth. And since we've had like a little bit of a 2-week hiatus here, I'm going to give just a brief recap and reset the board for us, so to speak. Okay. Trying to decide how far back I want to go. Okay. You were traveling west, originally with the intention of heading towards the Barrow Downs, possibly to seek help from one of the more powerful beings in Middle Earth, Tom Bombadil, and you were going to investigate grave robbing in the Barrow Downs. On your way, you came across a farmhouse that had been recently attacked by goblins. And the strange thing about it is that no valuables had been taken. And this kind of all evidence kind of pointed to these goblins are looking for something, but it's not riches and it's not food, it's not resources. They're looking for something specific. And with a little bit of deduction on you guys' part, you kind of figured out that this band of goblins was heading further west towards the Shire. And making a party decision, you chose to go to the Shires as soon as possible to try to warn them and hopefully head off the trouble before it gets there. You came across a troll that had taken up residence under the Brandywine Bridge itself. After a encounter with said troll, you guys used your fellowship points and called on LOTR's assistants, who then turned the troll to stone. You investigated the area and you found the troll had his own little treasure trove of goodies and a toll, so to speak, for that it enforced at the bridge. And you found some very valuable items, some very special items, and in some cases more valuable than you realize. After that, you proceeded west, and there was a little bit of a misadventure heading into the Shire, and a bad turn was made. And you made it to the little town of Whitfurrows, but took a wrong turn, and you ended up heading further north into the East Farthing. And you got lost, headed towards a town in the Shire called Scary, believe it or not, Scary. When we left off, you guys had kind of made your trek around and like made it back to Whitfurrows, if I recall correctly, and you were headed now west to Hobbiton. That's where we left off. So, sorry for the long-winded intro, but just to kind of reset the table for everybody. That's where we are. As I recall, we are in Whitfurrows, and I believe I was giving you guys the benefit of a good night's sleep in an inn in Whitfurrows, and we will proceed to the following morning. And you guys have some choices that you want to make. Just as a reminder, you did in fact start to warn the hobbits. The word that I was looking for earlier, you spoke to a bounder, which is the closest thing that hobbits have to a sheriff. And hobbits don't really have a structured government, so to speak. But if anyone has the authority of a town guard, that's a very rough a bounder is a rough translation for a town guard, but that's the closest thing they have. So you did warn the bounders, and you hope that that word is spreading to the Shire that trouble's on its way.
Did we get the benefit of? I know long rest. We slept in the inn, but I don't think that cured our exhaustion. Correct? Because you have to sleep in like
In
town.
fact, it did, because you were sleeping in the town.
Okay, word up.
Yes, your
I have to
exhaustion
imagine.
levels have been
Excellent.
recovered. And as a subtle reminder, I hope everybody did it, but you did go up to a level 3 at the end, at the end of the last game. So I hope everybody made your corrections pre-stream.
Yes, we're all good. There it is.
Very well.
I didn't know if we still had the exhaustion or not, because I know this
No.
module has the special rule about having to camp
Yep.
in a place. So I was going to say, with an inn bed, it feels like we should get some
Correct.
some relief, man.
You did, and
Awesome.
I feel like you did pay a price for pushing onward and not resting when you could have. So I feel like that
We've learned our lesson.
you've suffered long enough. So you're muted.
I knew I was going to forget that. I said I shenaned before, I will shenan again.
Of course.
So he hasn't learned. Got it.
So what were you saying, Bagomir? You were.
Oh, no, that was it. I
Oh,
shenaned
okay.
before, I will shenan again.
Oh, okay. Got it. Got it.
He's learned nothing. He loses. Good day, sir. All right.
So, the day is yours.
Yeah, I say from here. I mean,
On the map, you are currently in Whitfurrows. It will take you roughly a day's journey to get to Hobbiton from here.
Right. Now where we're at, does there seem to be more bounders about? Does it seem as though the word has indeed been spreading that, hey, there's possible trouble afoot?
I'll say with you guys kind of like waking up, having breakfast, like we're going to kind of go through the basics of a day here. We'll say once you guys kind of get out on the street, go ahead and give me a perception check, Bagomir.
Here's my perception. There it is.
I also roll perception. Give him a hand.
You may.
Excellent.
16.
16, not bad, not bad.
13.
13. Not basically here's what you get. You see a lot of small town rural hustle and bustle. You don't see too much in the way of like, the beacons have not been lit. There's no great alarm. But that doesn't mean that the word isn't spreading. You just don't see you don't see physical panic. That's a good way to say this. You don't see widespread panic in the most of the hobbits that you see about you. And to be honest, given the attitude of the bounder that you talked about, you kind of get the idea that hobbits very much are, you know this, you know that they're insular, but also they just don't believe that, yet even with the history, they just truly don't believe that trouble's going to come here unless somebody else causes it.
fear they may be in for a rude awakening.
They're going to have a rough time.
Maybe they pizza when they should have French fried.
So
Nice reference. Nice reference.
Yeah.
to me, I'm thinking we ought to just hit the road and get a move on. If it's going to take another whole day to get to Hobbiton, it seems like that's where we want to be.
I agree with the elf.
Before we
What color
start
is the sky?
clip clopping, can I check on like the horses and make sure they're all right and everything?
Absolutely. Go ahead and give me an animal handling check.
Animal handling. Actually, no, you're for battle.
Check on my hog.
We got a 12.
12. Good enough. There's nothing right now that would have them unsettled. It's easy to tend to them, feed them, and everything, and you don't notice any distress or panic from them. So.
Okay. Question: have they been in like a stable with other horses that are local?
Yes, I would imagine that you had them stabled as overnight as you guys slept.
Okay. For that reason, Willow's gonna ask Will, have you heard any news? Has anyone seemed to be talking about what's going on, what we told them? And she's asking if the other horses are conversating about this.
Sure. Give me one more animal handling check.
And the speak with animals is happening.
Uh-huh.
That's going to be 10.
10. Will just looks at you. You see as you kind of stare into his eyes for a moment, and you see the intelligence in the creature, and then he poops.
Hey, you think with the scourging having happened, there would be a lot more tussle and bustle? Well, we're gonna get to Hobbiton soon enough. Come on. And I'm gonna lead them out so that we can go on and hit the road.
It's like she turns around and Bagamir's just standing there.
Aye.
So, do you talk to him like that often?
Yeah.
My
Don't
question
you
is,
talk
does it ever
to-
talk back?
Yeah, that was kind of my question too.
Don't you ever talk to your I'm sorry, what's his name again?
Storm Shadow.
Storm Shadow. Don't you talk to Storm Shadow the same way?
But I usually don't give him time to respond.
But you see, Will is very, very intelligent. I swear, he's smarter than I sometimes.
Going between you and me, I think she's a few meals shy of second breakfast.
As
Bagomir looks over and he sees Bowen and Barbara's like, "Who's a good boy? Good morning. Who's a good boy?" Scratching this giant, just war pig's belly.
as I see the Renior sees the morning shenanigans happening, he's gonna lean over into the horse conversation and just, I knew a horse once. He's a right stubborn bastard, and then just walk away. Yeah, offer no follow up. I'm packing up. I'm ready to hit the road.
Turnips here. Who wants some turnips?
Or maybe I want some turnips. Let's talk about
Let
it.
me check my supplies here, make sure. I think I got room for a few more.
You just hear the ambient noise of people selling their wares and fresh caught fish, freshly caught this morning.
At the risk of being that guy, did we already pay for our room and board for the evening?
Yeah, I'm gonna say that you did.
Okay, cool.
At the risk of being that guy.
At the risk of being that DM, it's not important right now.
Wonderful. Cool. Thank you.
That'll be 26 gold.
Yep. Excuse me, what?
How about a crisp high five? No.
I actually am concerned about our ration supply. I don't think that we're too well equipped for too much. Although if it's only
today's
one
ride, but I believe Willow bought supplies the last session. She's
okay.
Yeah,
she was purchasing
bought
vegetables
enough.
and meat.
Some rabbit.
Then if we're set, then I'm all good. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, I think we're all good.
I think we're
And
good.
to be fair, if you guys feel like you are running low on that, and I hope you're keeping track of some of that, you are in the Shire, so finding food should not be too hard.
Right. I'm just worried about where our adventure may take us between here and
You'll
there.
the
be
race of
tripping
pe-
over potatoes.
Right, to the race of people who created new meals. I mean, finding food should not be difficult.
Comes in pints.
So, are we proceeding west?
On the road again.
Yes.
On the road. Okay, Bagomir.
Ride.
I believe this falls on you for your job. I do believe.
Ooh,
Guys, I think we really need to hire a guide for our next outing.
that reminds me, I still have our notes. I can open those up.
I'm glad someone's keeping them.
Yeah, Bagomir's guide, Renoir is the scout, Willow is the
Yes.
hunter, and Bowen is the lookout.
Not bad, not bad. 15.
Let's go.
15. All right, that is much better, Bagomir. I'm proud of you.
Yay. Are we back to full fellowship points since we are now starting a new fellowship phase?
Correct. Yes, this is a new phase, so you are in fact back to full on fellowship points.
All right,
which
guys, we have one
is
Deus Ex Machina.
Yes.
how many points
should be
to
6.
start?
Total for you guys,
6.
it's 6
Awesome.
because it's 1 for each of you in the party, and then you get the bonus for your patron.
For
right
Alatar,
now.
yes.
For
I just want to make
Alatar.
2
sure.
for the patron.
Correct.
I've got it written down
Had
so we can keep track as we play.
Excellent.
I've always failed to. I like to have a running tally. You know, it'd be awesome every session. Just okay, what are we starting at? And I
Right.
never write it down. So
Right.
Well, here we are.
I just hardcore always memorized it for this and for Rangers, so I'm glad that someone's actually keeping track of it, and I can just delete that part of my brain.
I
I'm
was
trying to
actually
keep track.
keeping notes and lost them somewhere, so we'll get ourselves together.
Okay.
Need Brian to take notes for us.
Right?
So you would be coming towards Frogmorton
And-
is the first stop for you. Ba-da-ba-ba. There's the east farthing. Okay. So you guys come across the village of Frogmorton first, and it is on the southern banks of the water. It splits into 2, flowing westward. Pretty much it. Frogmorton has like one. And Willow, you would know this. Frogmorton is really well known for one thing, and it's called the floating log. It is the first good inn you're gonna encounter on the East Road heading west, and it the proprietor is from the Broadbelt family, and that's about everything that you know. Willow. Bagomir, since you're in charge of the travel here, will you please roll me a d12?
$11.
11. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna say, yeah, since you're leading the way, Bagomir, you see this first. Pretty much the foot traffic on the road heading west, about what you would expect. You see like a hobbit with a donkey and a cart. You see some people carrying sacks of grain or food, and typical, no one of import. Until you spot a group of hobbit children running down the east road. This kind of catches your eye because they're kind of they're making a lot of noise as they go, kind of like squealing and laughing. Um, the lead hobbit child is holding a tuft of hair in its hand and shaking it in the wind as it runs. And from behind them, you see a lumbering dwarf of long black hair and an elegant beard that is braided in 4 different areas, but one appears to be missing.
Okay.
Oh dear.
Oh no.
And the dwarf seems very angry and is chasing the children and shouting and yelling at them.
Are they approaching towards us or going away from us?
The children are literally running towards you. And they're trying to lose their
Pursuer.
their tail.
Does Bowen see this?
That was my next question.
There is nothing subtle about this. You all see children running and squealing and laughing, and one of them you see now has a tuft of black hair in his hand, and
Yep.
he's shaking it. Yeah.
Bowen will, seeing this situation, he'll ride up a little forward of the group, and he'll turn his hog sideways as a way to kind of like sort of block the road.
Okay.
Not actively like walling everything off, but like, hey, what's going on here? Kind of